Started my career as a kindergarten teacher and later directed a large Head Start program, established some community child centers around the country, and then went into teacher education, became a dean, and later president of the University of Memphis. I returned to Tennessee, my home state. Our university is 21,000 students, about 900 faculty, and 2,500 employees. Our budget is $340 million, and we have an economic impact of $1.4 billion every year. Now, why do I tell you that economic news at the same time I'm talking about my early childhood roots? It is because of the economic impact of our university that I'm a member of the Memphis Regional Chamber of Commerce, the Memphis Tomorrow Board, which is our own business roundtable in Memphis, and the first woman to ever chair the Memphis Regional Chamber of Commerce Board, but more importantly, the first educator to chair that board, which tells you that finally, among our chambers, we are recognizing that education matters as a business matter as well. And so that is a symbol, I believe. We're home to FedEx, AutoZone, ServiceMaster, St. Jude, and 5 of the largest medical device companies. And they are represented on our business roundtable. So what I'm saying to you is a kindergarten teacher who became a university president is sitting at the same table with the business people in our city who employ hundreds of thousands of people, talking, and I am talking about early childhood education, and many of them are talking about early childhood education as well. I'm so glad to have the philanthropy community involved in this conference as well, because I can tell you that none of the initiatives in Memphis Tomorrow and none of the initiatives on early education that are a part of the chamber would have happened without the philanthropic community. I would also challenge those of you at Pew and Buffett and Gates to be sure that you help the smaller, and others, that you also help the smaller foundations and family philanthropy units to begin to not be weary of the tasks, because they have been working in these vineyards for a long time, many of them funding individual projects year after year after year, and need some stimulation from larger groups who would help to bring them together and coalesce around these issues. You are very important at our table. And I say the early childhood and economic development table. Now, you know Memphis from a lot of other ways as well: blues, barbecue, basketball, Elvis Presley. But you may not know that Memphis is 48th, that the state of Tennessee is 48th in the nation in infant mortality, and that in Memphis, Shelby County, 12.8%, double the national average for infant mortality, higher than the state of Tennessee, which is 8.6%. It matters in Memphis, Tennessee, just to keep children alive, as well as to have some quality endeavors for them later. We know that quality works and that quality matters, and that it's important to have voices at the table on major issues. At the state level, Governor Phil Bredesen is to be commended. Last year, we're not up to Oklahoma yet, I can tell you. I lived in Oklahoma for a while pre-K was expanding dramatically, and that was wonderful. Phil Bredesen is getting there in Tennessee with the expansion of pre-K programs requiring them to have a bachelor's degree, and this year added $40 million to those funds, mostly from lottery dividends, so buy your lottery tickets, to help with the plan of expansion. And I must say very quickly that you know us for Elvis Presley, but you know Tennessee for Dolly Parton. And Dolly Parton also has established the Imagination Library. Every child in the state of Tennessee from birth to 5 receives one book per month, regardless of the income of the children, of the families. This is in 572 communities in 41 states. At one time, Dolly Parton's group talked about the possibility of only giving these books to low-income children. And then when looking at the literacy rates of some of the near poverty and some even middle-class families who were not reading to their children, she decided to expand to any child, birth to 5, regardless of income. So those are state issues. Certainly many early childhood people in Tennessee have influenced those decisions, and the strategy for influencing them was, frankly, we didn't have to work very hard at that because our governor's wife is a nurse who has been a child advocate for a long time, and she's had his attention for a long time. And Dolly Parton grew up in poverty and wanted to have books to read as a child and is determined to give back to her state. But what about us? What about those of us at the university? We're in the knowledge generation business. We know what it takes to have quality programs. We know what it takes to train people to deliver quality instruction and quality care and quality parenting. We are trying to find out how much it costs on a realistic basis and how much the dividends are. Thanks to Art and to many others, we know the dividends are great, but we have to look at a local level at what our dividends are locally. Because it's very important for people to say this is what happens nationwide, but it's very important to say what the ramifications are locally. I'm going to speak just for a minute about one, which is a program called Ready, Set, Grow. Ready, Set, Grow is a project to educate more directors of child care facilities so they can attain accreditation. Because if you don't know what quality looks like, and you can't go see it somewhere nearby in a community that looks like yours rather than one that is, as my mother would say, spit and polished for someone else, then it's very difficult to get the message across about what quality matters in every neighborhood. So our Ready, Set, Grow project is one where we are educating directors to be nationally accredited. The other is the Barbara K. Littman School on our campus, where a quality early education has been happening since 1959, but where the university has been content to study one child at a time without looking at what it costs to have that kind of quality program sustained over time and replicated over time. So the strategies for us are to continue to grow the knowledge. They are to continue to say that quality matters, and the strategy is to be at the table. My university has a theme, dreamers, thinkers, doers. All of us are dreaming the dream. Frankly, since 1963, when I was graduating from college and became a kindergarten teacher, we've had this dream, particularly the Head Start dream. After that, the dream has been there, and we've been expanding our knowledge of what quality is. Now we are expanding our knowledge of what quality costs at the national level and the local level. And we're asking that the collaboration happen between chambers, philanthropists, and universities and local government to put together a package that makes it possible for us to educate more children in quality surroundings. Knowledge matters and quality matters. And in the end, there has to be a voice at the table to make sure that the issues of children are brought to the Chamber for Strategic Planning, that are brought to Memphis Tomorrow, and are brought to the media for attention so that the knowledge that's generated is not just generated in those circles, but is generated to the public as well. Gee, that made me nervous when he started. Was I holding my stomach in enough? Okay. But the media play a very important role in this arena as well. We can write the most beautiful strategic plan, but we have to have action. And action happens for us through demonstration projects, and then we have to communicate those results of what it matters to an individual family, collectively to a community, and what it costs to deliver.